ask, you shall receive. What is that quote? Anyway, so Jen, you're gonna have to let me know what you think, and thanks for commenting about it. I got one comment and I was like, let's make the video. But no, an excuse to talk about this show, and I think there's a lot to talk about in it. I've already talked my friends and family's ear off about this show, so might as well talk your ear off. I know this show isn't for everyone. It's dark. It has to do with, violence against women, online bullying, little kids, a whole lot. So if that is not something that will relax you and that you want an ASMR, I totally understand. Please click off the video. I don't want you feeling icky or stressed or sad before bed or any time of the day. So please click off. I will be back to my regular scheduled program videos after this. But I just did kind of want to talk about my thoughts, and there's a lot to be said about this show, and it's heavy, so I understand if you don't want to. There will also be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, maybe don't watch this yet. Watch it, because I do recommend watching it, and then come back. Also, I did write down a few notes, but nothing thought out or scripted. So please have grace with me and patience and understanding that these are not my full-fledged, Diana Hill type of thoughts. This is just some notes I jotted down, and I'm talking off the cuff. I don't have anything scripted, so if I say something that either seems out of pocket or not like something I would normally say, have grace, because I probably wouldn't, and I'm not editing this, I don't think. So yeah, okay, so if you're just listening to this as background noise, as purely a whisper ramble to fall asleep to, just to give you some background info, this is a British show where a 13-year-old boy, Jamie, is accused of murdering his classmate, Katie. And the show revolves around that. Now, it's a limited series on Netflix. It's just 4 episodes. And I think I'm going to kind of take it like episode by episode, even though there will be some overarching thoughts throughout it. Also, Jen, I know you're watching this. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and what you think of what I said. Okay, so also something overarching is that I might have to burp. I'm gonna mute it if I do. I just finished dinner like 20 minutes ago, so my stomach is probably digesting. Anyway, okay, so it is, British show. Every episode is filmed in one shot, okay? So the camera follows around the characters and the scenes. There's no break in action, and I have watched YouTube videos and TikToks like talking about it. It's crazy how they did it, but they did it. And there's sirens. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the volume until they go away. Okay. Yeah, so one shot, and all the actors just said that they would rehearse it, honestly, kind of like theater, where they would just rehearse the episode at a time, then they would film it twice, and then they would take whatever take was best. There was improv in it too, which episode in one take to have improv in that. Like, you have to trust your coworkers and the directors and cinematographers and editors and producers so well. But it worked. It's the best TV show I've seen in such a long time. Episode 3 especially is the best episode I've seen on TV in forever. So really, really, really good, and the acting was phenomenal. Just really good stuff. I said this in my last video, but if you are a viewer, you will know that I'm a major critic of film and TV shows and acting and directing and cinematography and producing and everything. So I'm impressed by it, which says a lot because I'm hard to please. Anyway, so episode 1, Jamie gets accused and the police break into his home with his family and take him into the police station. And episode 1 is just like the raw emotions of his family thinking that they have the wrong kid, and his dad, could never believe that he would do this, and Jamie, just like the emotion of, we're watching it sink in with him, like, this is real, like, you murdered her and you have to face the repercussions. Now again, I did say spoiler alert, but major spoiler alerts coming up. He did kill her, and it's so interesting because you can see in the show that he only slips once, that he admits to killing her, but you can see him struggling with coming up with so many different excuses as to why he did that and how he didn't really do it. Because he's like, I didn't do anything bad, because his brain is rationalizing, like, she bullied me and I just stopped her. But he's a young boy going through puberty. He his brain's not really letting him admit that he killed her. Like, she no longer is around. And you see that play out. It's just brilliant. And in episode 2, the detectives go to the school and try to ask teachers and students if they know anything. And I will say, Katie's best friend, that one girl, that was kind of bad acting. It wasn't bad, it wasn't as good as the rest. It was fine. But so at the school, one of the most powerful scenes that I thought was when the detective's son, who's also at the high school, pulls him aside and is like, Dad, you're not getting it. Like, you're looking for the murder weapon, you're looking for a motive. You think Katie has commented on Jamie's Instagram because she thinks he's cute or friends or whatever, but you're missing it. And I just felt the light bulb moment with the detective, because it's the online bullying of this underground world that not a lot of people know of, which is, this alpha, Andrew Tate, rhetoric, where men are letting women kind of take over and be this bra-burning feminist group, and men need to start to push back on that, and men need to stand up, and it's just a lot of female hatred. And anyway, and so his son is saying, like, on Instagram, these emojis and these words are calling him an incel, calling him ugly, small, whatever. And so meanwhile, Jamie is seeing those comments about him, which is bullying. It's terrible, terrible online bullying. But then he's also absorbing all the alpha male things too. And so realizes it's not a case of necessarily like they were friends and then he killed her. When you look deeper, it's this thing of this young girl rejected a young boy, and this young boy has rage and built up rage from this online manosphere world. So he thinks in his mind the defense mechanism is masculine, violent power and having authority over this woman. This girl can't reject me. I'm, online everyone says men need to stand up and fight back and take over. And it's just a fascinating thing, and it's so real today. It's so real because I do believe that there is the very real epidemic of male loneliness. And I'm not a male apologist by any stretch of the imagination, trust me, but I have a lot of good men in my life. I was raised by pretty much a single dad. I mean, he is the one constant in my life. My dad and my brothers, who are great men, and I have friends and male coworkers and neighbors I just have a lot of great men in my life, so I am not a male apologist, but I'm also not a man hater. I love men. And my nephew, my sweet little nephew, is my entire world, and I do worry that, I worry about his future. I mean, he has friends now, but he's a kid, I worry so much about his future, and have these long conversations with my brother and my sister-in-law, like, how can we make sure that he grows up so steadfast in love and knowing himself and standing up for what he believes in, but also loving women and respecting women and men, and it's a real thing. But anyway, yeah, I do believe in the chronic male loneliness epidemic that's going around, and men are inside and they're watching porn and they're on their Instagram and TikTok and they see OnlyFans, and they're in their basement or their apartment or their garage or wherever men live and hang out, single, alone, and they get lonely, and it's not as easy for men to make friends as females. I'm also speaking generally. You could be a male and you have a million friends and you make a million friends, and that's amazing. I'm talking in vast generalizations here, but it is real. And then when that trickles down to these young boys feeling lonely, feeling ostracized, feeling like the girls don't like them, it can get scary. And telling, these girls, bullying them for not being masculine or not being strong or good looking, it can get in their heads. And then you have this very small subsect of men or just people that are now preaching that it's gone too far and men need to take back over, and whatever. It just does create the toxic masculinity, but that's such an overused phrase. It's beyond that. It's like, why can't men just feel manly but still respect women? Like, and it is possible. Again, there's plenty of men in my life, and I've only dated the most secure men. Like, I know it's real, but it is possible that men can be, two truths can live here. They can be hella masculine and manly, alpha, whatever, but also not hurt women. Like, crazy concept, but also men don't have to be this alpha machismo man. Like, that's such a construct, and it's like a dick showing contest. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what. You can be whatever man you want to be. You can be whatever woman you want to be. I don't give a fuck what you are, as long as you respect everyone. just a fascinating thing. And it's Jamie, this little boy in the show, you know, you can tell that he's struggling with all of this. And he is, okay, I'm gonna turn that down as my fridge is going crazy right now. And you really see it play out in episode 3, which is the best work of television I have ever seen, at least in a while, since Game of Thrones. And it's Jamie and his therapist, and she just has so much hope for him. She sees so much potential in him. And in the course of their hour-long session, you know, this one scene, it was taped in once. It's why I cannot get over it. That whoever produced that show is incredible. Anyway, you know, he struggles because everything I just talked about, like his machismo, toxic online presence versus that, you know, male loneliness where you want women, you want friends, you want this, but yet you're stuck at home all day on playing video games, on social media. You don't have that affection with women, but you want it. You know, though, you can see that those collide and those internally fight in him. And of course the therapist is a woman, so he has these outbursts with her which are just pure rage, and they're scary. They're really, really scary. It's just growing up with two brothers, of course I saw them angry at me. Like, we would fight, we would literally physically fight. I have never, especially from my older brother is a very calm demeanor. He doesn't he never raised his voice at me, even as kids. And I have never seen any boy act like Jamie did in that episode, of just wanting to hurt and say these crazy things and have all this anger and hatred towards women. And I mean, my younger brother Johnny, he's great. He never was like that either, but I mean, he would get angry. He would never get in my stepmom's face like that, in a teacher's face like that, in my face like that, though. Like, he respects women so much. So I don't really have a lot to compare it to, but whatever. If there is any kids that are like Jamie in your life, I hope you pray or think about him and hope for the best, because it's really scary, and no one deserves to be yelled at. I have never in my life, knock on wood, been yelled at like that. Maybe in one female friendship fight that I had in college, we got nasty with each other, but still, like, I don't even think close to that level. You should never be talked to that way, and no young boy should ever act like that. But again, you know, my younger and my older brother, they weren't raised with that online presence of that manosphere, but also looking for validation from their female peers, and having to face that rejection online and in real life. Like, so I don't know what it's like, obviously, for a 13-year-old boy being raised in this society, but I really do worry about it for my nephew, well, and my niece, because God forbid if she is 12 or 13 and rejects a boy, because the whole thing in the show is Jamie asked Katie to go to the fair with him, and she says no, and he kills her. It's not funny, it's just insane. So my niece, like, if she says no to a boy, he's just gonna, like, it's really scary shit, man. We're in a crazy world, and we just have to get back to love and just raising respectable humans. I'm saying that, I'm not a mom, but I've said this before, I'm an extremely hands-on auntie, okay? I help raise those kids, and my brother knows it. But if I ever do have it was a monster. I mean, he murdered someone in cold blood, a little girl. And, you know, nature versus nurture. They raise their kids presumably the same, you know. I know there's a difference between boys and girls. I was obviously raised differently than my brothers. But, you know, at the same time, we weren't, like, we were always just taught respect, respect, respect. You know, love everyone, help everyone. Like, I don't know, my dad's values are just, I'm not trying to be, like, all annoying and pick me and whatever, and, like, everyone says, like, their dad's the best, but no, like, my dad really did raise us to just respect everyone, be kind to everyone, respect authority, respect women, respect, but then again, like, you know, Jamie's parents, it sounded like they did that too, and they still had a kid that went crazy, and, you know, you could probably do everything right, raise kids right, and they still could flip, you know, it's nature versus nurture, but in this case, I do think it's social media. I mean, maybe people that kill always have that innate thing, and it's just a flip switch or something that triggers them to kill. Maybe some people, like, have that but never have that be switched, or maybe some people just don't have that. Like, I don't have it in me to kill, but I'm just saying, like, there could maybe be some people, like, yeah, like murderers. I mean, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever. Any of those. But I do find it fascinating, just the study of people, and in a world in which we live so much online, especially like Jamie, like, he was always online. He was rarely in person except with his two buddies, who were these boys who had the same mentality, calling these girls the B word. Like, I remember one time when I called a girl in my class, I was in 8th grade, maybe 7th grade, so right around Jamie's age, and I called a girl in my class a bitch. My dad sat me down. He didn't yell at me. He walked me through how you can't call women that, you can't call men that, it's not a good word, it's mean, and if you have a problem with someone, you have to work it out. Which maybe you're like, wow, your dad sounds soft AF, and like, you should call them a B word if they were. But hey, I'm doing great in life. I've got a ton of friends. I've got good partners. I've got good people in my life, a good job. Like, I think he did it at least okay for me. But the way that Jamie and his friends throw out those words, and Jamie just kept throwing out the B word, I'm like, oh my god, shut up. Like, that is someone's daughter. That was a young girl. Stop saying that. Like, it was making me mad. But it goes back to the acting. Like, his acting was phenomenal. Like, he will be an Academy Award winner. I don't even know. In the next year. Wow, that was a lot. What else have I not talked about with this? The family. Yeah, I mean, the dad just felt so much shame and embarrassment, and he, you know, felt like he failed his son, and it's so hard because I can never even imagine a world in which that was me. It's unimaginable. But that's your kid. I don't know. I don't know. It's really, really sad. And yeah, okay, I'm almost at 30 minutes here. Wow, I can yap. If anyone is still here, okay, if anyone, there can't be a lot of you, but if anyone is still here at pretty much violence against women, or just bullying, and yeah, let's do violence against women, because these young girls that get murdered for rejection and for just being themselves. Yeah, leave me those words. But I will say, like, she did bully him. Like, at the end of the day, she did. I would never want my daughter or my friends or my niece or anyone to bully someone the way that she did bully him. It is wrong. But you don't get to die because of that. You know, you're supposed to get in trouble. Like, you're 12, 13. You're supposed to be sent to the principal's office. Not murder. And if you reject a boy, you're supposed to go on with your life. I don't know. It's really scary. It's scary, scary stuff. And the other crazy thing was, you know, Jamie was like, well, I didn't SA her. Like, I didn't touch her. And that's, like, most boys would. Like, I'm doing well. It's like, but that's real. Like, we've gotten into a toxic male world where they legitimately think they deserve a fucking cookie if they don't sexually harass and sexually abuse women. Like, it's twisted. But again, you know, he's stuck in this bubble of the Andrew Tates of the world on his social media, and this manosphere, this echo chamber of masculine phrases and ideas. Not just masculine, that's a bad word, because masculine is not a bad thing. Masculine is not a bad thing. If you're a male and you want to be masculine, if you're a female and you want to, that's not a bad thing. It's the superiority complex of masculine alpha men that's bad and scary. And, you know, Jamie's in this echo chamber of that on Instagram. And, you know, he truly does feel like, oh, I didn't touch her. I'm a good person still. But yeah, he just, you know, he's a boy going through puberty. I don't think it's fair to have all these young kids so impressionable going through puberty on social media this much. They have access to everything. Again, porn, OnlyFans, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. And unless your parents are monitoring them all the time, like, even me, like, as a high school coach, I will hear and see things that I either bite my tongue or I don't. And I confront the girls and ask them to explain what's going on. And it's a really hard thing to tiptoe around. And these are mature young women thinking of 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds. It's just a scary world. But yeah, the show is so powerful and just made me think about all this. It's wild. Okay, I'm gonna go to my notes now and see if I missed anything. Oh my gosh, yeah, I got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe at this point it's like 99, but good fucking show. Okay. Owen Cooper is the little boy. Jamie, that's the actor's name. Oh, this was something I wanted to talk about. This whole thing of, like, this masculine machismo world that, you know, that was talked about in this show is saying that, like, feminist has swung so far and now the world is sexist towards men. How do I say this? I work in a male-dominated field, a male-dominated industry. I am months ago. And I'm not going to get into it, but I had blatant sexism towards me in front of my face admitted to me in my industry. And I went back to, I put up front on, and I didn't get emotional. God forbid a woman gets emotional. And I just, I talked to my dad about it. I talked to my stepmom about it. I talked to my boss about it, like everything. And it's just something that I brave and go through pure blatant sexism towards me. Not even hiding it. I couldn't imagine what goes on that people in my industry don't do in front of me. That's sexist, who knows? But I'm just saying sexism is alive and real. And I don't see in my personal life any sexism towards men. And I have a lot of males in my life, okay? So, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there because let the record reflect me, Jenna. This is my channel, my own opinions. To me, sexism is alive and real towards women, not men. And maybe you're like, duh, Jenna, but I guarantee there's some people that are like, yeah, it's equal. We're all equal. We're not. We're not all equal. Okay. Oh, okay, this is another thing. Yes. So, I can take a joke, okay? Like, I can take a joke about women making sandwiches, women in the kitchen, women bad drivers. Like, I can take a good sexist joke. Maybe that's bad of me and bad feminist of me, but I appreciate humor. So, if a friend or family member of mine, man or woman, I don't care, makes a joke about sexism towards women, I laugh, especially because the men in my life are feminists